This is Nerdimation from Nerdimations, and this is Atlantis, or at least where we left it from last episode. Today we're going to build on the Dark Ages of Atlantis, and its many nations. Also, my brother Ozzy is here to join us because he is insisting me to. So, Ozzy, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ozzy.
Okay, so we're going to continue. Now, here's currently the power ranking. The Romans, and Sia, Bea, and all these tribes. The Romans, continuing to seek glory, would fight the remaining Atlantican kingdoms. The northern ones would be more decentralized, as their population isn't as large, and also they don't have as many Roman weapons, and so I'm expecting that pretty quickly fighting would end up in purely the Romans' favor. All the Romans would have to do really is just burn some cities, and the rest of the tribes are just totally cooked. But I don't think the same would happen to Atlantica. They have more Roman weaponry from trading with the Romans mainly, and their population is more centralized. So here's what I expect. The Romans at first try to beat Atlanticum in a few decisive battles, but the toughness of the Atlanticans improve and show. Then the Roman Emperor, who we don't know who he is, I don't know that much Roman history, he'd launch a sea invasion, hoping to take the capital. But the sea invasion fails as the Atlantican forces move to defeat them. The only thing is that they mostly left the river clear, and so the Romans go across the river and try to assault the forces and win the war. After a few months or even years of this just continuing where the Romans and our force or still gain territory randomly and then lose it somewhere else. Finally, they leave and even let the Atlanticans do their thing. Meanwhile, the rest of Rome, though, isn't doing so great. Guess who is doing great, though? The Celts. The Celts have a nasty habit of replacing the pop. Odie, shut up. The Celts have the nasty habit of replacing everyone when in their wake, and I think no different. Insert battle music of Celts going everywhere. Okay, now stop battle music. Because Celts going everywhere. There you go. Anyways, these areas in turquoise are basically just the areas with both ancestry also. Okay, good. Now the music's off. So here's the area.
I'm the person who's humming that.
Okay, so continuing. Let's not mind OD for a second. And the Romans, as they collapse, slowly whoever governs the province would probably take over. Remember, unlike most other Roman provinces which relied on Rome, Atlanticum had mostly learned from learned from their 400 or their like 200 years of continuously being left alone, and basically how to take care of themselves. And so they just continue on.
But I have a question. What would be Atlantica?
Atlanticum would at this point would probably just continue being Atlanticum, though the historic rivalry between these two states would probably not stop. The two nations remembering the battles that have been fought years ago.
A few, like 100 years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, he's we're going to call this country Atlanticae. This is Atlanticum, this is Atlanticae. Don't get them confused.
Okay, my question. Okay, so we also have Atlant. I also see this slab of land that might also be also left out of Atlanticae politics. So it
Yeah,
might
this area
start being influenced more by the Celtic and native cultures.
and they are technically part originally a native state, and so we're going to name this Centralia after the fact that it's bordering central. It's near a central lake, and just to give the name more credibility, we're going to allow them to take some northern territories to border the central lake. Centralia, and meanwhile, Sia and Bea now watch as the three of them are totally undermined by Atlanticae, Atlanticum, and Centralia.
Wait a minute, what's happening? Are the Norse gonna come north?
The Norse aren't here yet. Okay, so continuing, we are going to have some more our native states because the map is still looking a bit boring. In the northern forests, Crete has begun to boom with the new introduction of Centralia, a country that actually is recognized as a country. And slowly this causes these tons of small towns and cities to sprout along the banks of the rivers. It's all of them all wanting goods from the extremely cool place called Centralia. I know, amazing. These states would most likely form a league to protect their trading interests, mainly against other tribes who want to, steal their money. They'd probably have common encounters with the Celts, who at this point would be like their main rival. But now let's just see Sia and Bea. They're basically sweating to death at this point as Atlanticae stands right next to them and could destroy them at any moment. And that's exactly the unfortunate that will come to Bea, as in 114 AD, Bea is invaded by Atlantican forces who seek to take over the entire territory for themselves.
While in the northern area,
the Celts and Centralia.
Culture and language started affecting the northern area and separating area of Atlantica.
Hi.
Atlantica from the south, since
And so with the Atlanticans in the middle of a war have to be called up to quench rebellions, mainly caused by Celtic tribes that had recently removed in after the Romans took it. These Celts continuously take more continue and slowly but by around 124 wait no dang it, it's 514 AD. They're all quelched, and finally with forces now surrounding Bayatown, Baya surrenders. Okay, so continuing, we're going to see what will happen here. So the Atlantis states mostly do nothing, as they don't have much to do. But around the mid-7th century, the Norse come. The Norse at first just raid the area of for all the money and stuff and the woman, because heck, why not take the woman? And the Norsemen say. And slowly they begin settling in the north. Also, at this point, the Celts have built new states. These new states are states are mainly for number one to conduct better trade, and number two to resist the new outside powers. The first of these is Altesh, around here. Then further north forms the state of Ilkerni, just chilling around. Meanwhile, on the coast, a confederation of tribes called the Lori reform. Their capital is the biggest of the three, and it's located on the big river, on the center river delta. The big center river is where the Celts get their base. Meanwhile, in the further north, the Atlas Confederacy, as it's now called, began into finding Norsemen and all around. God, it's a horror movie. Except this time it's random dudes with beer and fetish instead of zombies looking for your blood and brains. Odd. The Norse people at this point just want to form states and make themselves rich. And what's the best way to make yourself rich? That's right, make countries. So that's exactly what we do. Okay, that's actually back. In the west, there's Varti. They are basically killing. Then there's Emish. also very chill. Meanwhile, all the way in the far east is the island of Taurus, which becomes a trading hub for new settlers and people who want to make money. But then Atlantica deals with a new problem: the Umayyad Caliphate. Their first advance, they first take the islands in the south, not wanting to cause trouble. Anyways, these areas literally have no one living on them. The Atlanticans never bothered to go sailing. But then they slowly expand and quickly find out that this area is a desert. And with the Umayyads having a pretty good knowledge of how to live in deserts, they quickly are able to dominate the area, destroying most, if not all, tribes around. The area is called Agdalan, and it begins to profit quickly as they basically gone into an untapped trading hub. They soon what basically is a road forms between in the new biggest city on the continent, Makare, and the far north and the ports in the north. Sorry for the squiggly line. That's not exactly how it works. Meanwhile, Sia has done literally nothing. But of course, doing nothing doesn't benefit you, and so Sia is finally wiped off the face of the earth after trying so hard. Meanwhile, Atlantica sees that now everything is getting tenser as they're now getting pushed between different powers. They're still expanding though. Meanwhile, finally, the Atlantica has gotten sick of its very existence. I know, ironic. But finally new successors begin. First, rebellions in the north, mainly by Celts, formed the state of Aleki, which in their language, which is so different from Celtic, it barely can be called Celtic anymore. They moved is their name for land. Meanwhile, further south, with the southern traders now seeing that all hell is breaking loose, they quickly leave. They also claim to be the successors of the Roman Empire quickly while they're at it. Because that's just a thing medieval countries do. Meanwhile, the main empire falls into total chaos, and quickly the area is taken. Oh, and also finally, the trading hub states gave themselves a name after a few months of thinking about it. They're called IA, which is spelled with IAU. I know, crazy. The Aleki and IAU, it will make a partition over the area. This will come to be important later. IAU, now with the loss of the biggest power on the map, we stop. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to see the rest of the series. Peace.